I welcome you walking into this vicinity, counting your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. You're seeing skyline of the divinity. Keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Biggest help to me is your closest proximity. After your ring, now let's do this officially. Recently picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting powers, no miss, and additionally, you can conquer top maintaining your hostility. Human most excited with sun intermittently. World's best for then all the way minimally. Don't understand my own reasons artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Motively, support it, promote it so avidly. You kill me as stillness and agility. Sorry, on behalf of my official symmetry. Games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like we do this pure captivity. After all this time, they return stability. After all this humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. Illnesses due to some other deficiency. I can refuse when you sit there so fittingly. How can I help you today? You be specifically choking on the heat over the humidity. Turn it off, now disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that they so distinctively. Tell me the humidity. I welcome you walk here into this vicinity, count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. You're seeing skyline of the divinity. The biggest stuff to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Recently picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting powers, never miss. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your attacks and remain your hostility. Human most excited with sun intermittently. World's best for it, all the way minimally. Don't let me stop you because statistically build it, keep build it, so ambitiously motor, at least quarter, promote it so rapidly. If you're gonna assist me up, skill me agility, tell me to I welcome you all here into this vicinity, counting your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. You're seeing skyline of the divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's our probability? Keep this additionally. Keep in mind sharp with this daily activity. Keep the pilots. You already know what it is. I welcome you walking into this vicinity, count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Her seeing skyline of the divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's our probability? Shooting pilots never miss an additional. Keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your ties and reign in your hostility. Must cloud your silence intermittently. World's best for it, then all the way minimally. I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it so ambitiously. Promote it, sport it, promote it so avidly. It tells me I still miss the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my official symmetry. Games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's only me to do this you in captivity. Through all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of our greatness and smile convincingly. Illnesses due to some other deficiency. Can't refuse when you sit there so fittingly. Or can I help you today? You feel specifically choking for blood. You don't resist humidity. Turn it off now. Disobey me deliberately. Still remember that day so distinctively. You make me the best of power and deficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. We chose you, man, I chose you, whatever you want the case to be. But you are here, and I am here. Let's try to make the most of this. It's automatically, of course. It's automatically, of course. It's automatically. Broadcasting to you from nothing dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you find folks' attention, after I commit you with that one convention. What sister seems your child's back in detention. Have been back by 12 hours for an extension. Toss it over to you with the worst of intention. Come at me again with another invention. Announce it again, it's the counts of the convention. Down goes facts of your audience attention. The third time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in line as it. Okay, we gotta. I walk you into this vicinity, counting your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth seeing sky on another divinity. Tell you, biggest up to me is your closer proximity. If you got a ring on the... What the? No! No, it ain't. I walk you into this vicinity, count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky on another divinity. Biggest up to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Two pilots never miss end, and additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your ties and renew your hostility. Human must be tied with sun intermittently. Worlds before that, although admittedly, I don't understand my own reasons statistically. Build it, but this so ambitiously. Motive is quarter promoter so avidly. You ask me the stillness and then an agility. Sorry, behalf of my facial symmetry. Get into yeah. Gives you a chance to... I walk you into this vicinity, count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky on another divinity. Biggest up to me is your closest proximity. I got you a ring, I'll do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilot stuff I'm missing additionally. Keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your ties and renew your hostility. Mostly cloudy with sun intermittently. Worlds before that, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep building, but this so ambitiously. Promote him as quarter, promote it so avidly. You quest me on... I walk you into this vicinity, count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky on love the divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing additionally. Keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rein in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it so ambitiously. Promote him as quarter, promote it so avidly. You test me, I still then right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my facial symmetry, games have concluded. What's our next festivity? Still like me to do this with you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. We almost got caught. Speaking of our humility, we pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. To them of our greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. I can't refuse and you sit there so fittingly. How can I help you today? YouTube specifically choking from the heat or is it humidity? Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. I still remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best of power and deficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. We are here to... I walk you into this vicinity, count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthly and sky, I love the divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. The reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with our daily activity. Conquer your tides and rain in hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, but all the way admittedly. Don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep building, build this so ambitiously. Promote it, misquote it, promote it so avidly. You send me stillness and then agility. Sorry, in behalf of my facial symmetry, games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me too, this is you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride us ourselves on such a... I welcome you all here into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthly and sky, I love the divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never miss. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides and rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote it, misquote it, promote it so avidly. You test me, I still the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my fictional symmetry. Games have concluded, what's on next festivity? It's not like me to do this with you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride us on so much more than consistency. To them of our greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is saved to some other deficiency. I can't refuse when you sit there so fittingly. How can I help you today? You see specifically choking for the heat or is it humidity? Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best of power and deficiency. Done with you now and I've said it explicitly. You choose you on me, I choose you on me, whatever you want the case to be. But I am here, and you are here, so let's record something first. It's all thematically, of course. It's all thematically, of course. It's all thematic. Broadcasting to you from nothing dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you fine folks' attention, I could have met you at that one-off convention. What is this? It seems that you're just back in detention. Have been back by 12 night, ask for an extension. Toss it over to you with the worst of intention. Come at me again with another invention. An ounce of cure's worth a pound of prevention. Down goes backs, up goes the audience retention. A third time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in as again as the sign of affection. Live with yourself and your active aggression. Call it a drawing, add it to the collection. Upload the episode, leave out the complexion. The song was the winner right from its conception. Too important to sabotage and connections. It's no wonder you have such severe depression, perpetually moving in the same direction. If you don't raise your hand, you'll face an ejection. If you are the average, you're not the exception. Standing there with your vague facial expression, please come back. You sure did sleep. Quite the impression. If you don't stop now, you'll get in an infection. One morning, here comes the surprise inspection. Must have taken some guts to suspend your objection. Didn't think you have it still in your possession. What did you do when they asked for your profession? We asked, please stand back. This is for your protection. This coupon is valid enough for your redemption. Come on, this is no place for your reflection. You know what if you have a quest. What can you walk you into this vicinity? Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthly and sky, I love the divinity. Biggest help to me is in close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote it, misquote it, promote it so avidly. If test me agility, then it's right to from the top. I welcome you into this vicinity. Counting your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, another divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability? What are the chances? What's the probability? Shooting pilots never missing. Additionally, keeping my sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, remain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, so ambitiously promote it, misquote it, promote it so avidly. You test me on stillness, then right to agility. Sorry in behalf of my facial symmetry. Games have concluded, what's our next festivity? It's not with me to do this, you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. We almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride us goes on so much more than consistency. Tell them of our greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. I can't refuse when you sit there so fittingly. But can I help you today, you two specifically? Choking from the heat or is it humidity? Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. I still remember that day so distinctively. Made me the best of power and deficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. I chose you on me, we chose you on me, whatever you want the case to be. But I am here and you are here, let's do this officially. It's automatically, of course, it's automatically, of course, it's automatically. Broadcasting to you from the fifth dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you fine folks' attention, I swear that I met you at that one convention. What sister seems your child's back in detention. Happened that by 12, then asked for an extension. Toss it over to you with the worst of intention. Come at me again with another invention. An ounce of fury is worth a pound of prevention. Down goes facts, up goes the audience retention. A third time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in line as a sign of your affection. Live with yourself and your active aggression. Call it a draw and add it to the collection. Upload the episode, leave out the complexion. The song is a winner right from its conception. Too important to sabotage any connections. No wonder you have such severe depression. Perpetually moving in the same direction. If you don't raise your hand, you will face ejection. If you are the average, you're not the exception. Standing in there with your new facial expression. Please come back, you sure did leave quite the impression. If you don't stop now, you'll get a close inspection. But when here comes a surprise inspection, must have taken some guts to sustain your objection. They didn't think you'd have it still in your possession. What do you do when they ask for your profession? We ask you please stand back, it's for your protection. This coupon is valid now for your redemption. Oh come on, this is no time for reflection. You know where to find me if you have a question. I chose you on me, we chose you on me, whatever you want to be the case. But I am here and you are here, so let's do it officially. It's automatically, of course, it's automatically, of course, it's automatically. You know where to find us on your favorite channel. There he is wearing the suit with the flannel. How many stars? No, how many granules? If you got a question, ask it to the panel. The music sound at the bottom of the barrel. You fought all the wars, now prepare for the battle. How can I respect you? You treat us like cattle. The past is like horses, the future's the camel. If there is a problem, you want me to... I come at you up from another... Oh, it's still going. Welcome you here into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthsea and sky, another divinity. Biggest step to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never miss. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, average all the... I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthsea and sky, another divinity. Keep your mind sharp with the still. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthsea and sky, another divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides and rein in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best orbit, although admittedly, brought you standard. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthsea and sky, another divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Shooting pilots, never miss. And additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides and rein in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, you test me on stand. Oh, it's, I don't, yeah, that's... I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthsea and sky, another divinity. Keep your happy. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthsea and sky, another divinity. Biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides and rein in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices. Artistically build it, build it, so ambitiously promote it, misquote it, promote it so avidly. You test me, I'll still the right to agility. So re and be happy, my facial symmetry. Games have concluded, what's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this with you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. We almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of our greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. I can refuse when you sit there so fittingly. How can I help you today? You three specifically choking from the heat or is the humidity? Turn it off now, so disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best of power and deficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. We chose you, man, I chose you, man, whatever you want the answer to be. But I am here and you are here, let's do this officially. It's automatically, of course, it's automatically, of course, it's automatically. Broadcasting to you from the fifth dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all you fine folks' attention, I swear I could met you with that one convention. What sister seems you child spent in detention. Have him back by 12, don't ask for an extension. Tossed it over to you with the worst of intention. Come at me again with another invention. Ounce of the cures with a pound of prevention. Down goes the facts, up goes audience attention. A third time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in line as a sign of your affection. Live with yourself in the act of aggression. Call it a draw and add it to the collection. Upload the episode, leave out the complexion. The song is the winner up from the conception. Too important to sabotage any connections. There's no wonder you have such severe depression. Perpetually moving in one same direction. If you don't raise your hand, you'll face ejection. If you are the... Okay, you know what? I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count all your blessings that count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, all love of divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep you on track with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promoting this quarter, promote it so rapidly. Few little testament, you know, that one is always... I welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, all other divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep you on track with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly sunny with clouds intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly you don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promoting this quarter, promote it so avidly. Test me, I'll still miss the right to agility. Soaring behalf of my facial symmetry. Games have concluded. What's our next festivity? If you like me to do captivity, you can't leave that in. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, all other divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep you on track with this daily activity. Conquer your time to rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promoting this quarter, promote it so rapidly. If you test me, I'll still miss the right to agility. Sorry on behalf of my facial symmetry. The games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this to you in captivity. After all this time, it's a little bit too... welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, all love the divinity. Your biggest step to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Is reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep you mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, that although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote him as quarter, promote it so avidly. He tells me how sinless the right to agility. So on behalf of my official asymmetry, the games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this to you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. We almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. Can't refuse the view sitting there fittingly. How can I help you today? You three specifically. Choking from the heat or is it humidity? Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. I remember that day so distinct. Better, but I still need it. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, you count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, all of the divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. Got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, but although admittedly, don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote him as quarter, promote it so avidly. Test me, I'll steal the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my official asymmetry. Games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this to you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. You can't refuse these. Sit there so fittingly. How can I help you today? You three specifically. Choking from the heat or is it the humidity? Turn it off now. Disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best with power and efficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. I chose you, I mean, we chose you, I mean, whatever you want the excuse to be. But I am here and you are here, let's do this officially. It's all thematically, of course, it's all thematically, of course, it's all thematically. Broadcasting to you from the fifth dimension. Subscribe to the channel. I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you fine folks' attention, I couldn't help that, but you wanted that convince. Really? Yeah. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, all of the divinity. Biggest help you is your closest proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, but although admittedly, don't understand my own reasons artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote him as quarter, promote it so avidly. You test me on stillness, the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my official asymmetry. Games have concluded. What's source? Oh, what's, yeah. I'll welcome you, walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings here, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, and I love the divinity. Yeah, your biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer the tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, but although admittedly, don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote him as quarter, promote it so avidly. Just test me, I'll service the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my facial symmetry. Games have concluded with tonic festivity. It's not like me to do this to you in captivity. Through all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride us on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. Your illness is due to some type of deficiency. I can't refuse to sit there with you so fittingly. How can I help you today? You three specifically, choking from breath to resist humidity. Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best with war and efficiency. I'm done with you now, so said it so. Welcome you walk here into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth scene, sky, and love the divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing additionally. Keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. You're mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, although admittedly, I don't understand my own courses artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote it, score it, promote it so rapidly. You test me, I still miss the right to agility. So on behalf of my facial symmetry. Games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this with you in captivity. After the same time. No. Why? I welcome you walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. The earth, sky, and I love the divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Recently picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing additionally. Keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best forward, but although admittedly, don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this so ambitiously. Promote it, score it, promote it so rapidly. You test me, I stillness, the right to agility. Sorry on behalf of my facial symmetry. Games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this with you in captivity. Through all this time, they returned to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride us was on, so it's more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. We almost due to some other deficiency. Can't respect you sitting so fittingly. How can I help you today? You three specifically. Choking from lucky to risen humidity. Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best of power and deficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. I choose you, I mean we choose you, I mean whatever you want the reason to do. But I am here and you are here, so let's record this officially. It's automatically, of course. It's automatically, of course. It's automatically. Broadcasting to you from no fifth dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you fine folks' attention, I could have met you at that 1 hour convention. What's this? And seems your child's back in detention. I have been back by 12, don't ask for an extension. Just sit over to you with the worst of intentions. Come at me again with another invention. And ups of cure, it's worth a pound of prevention. Down goes facts, up goes the audience retention. A third time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in line as a sign of your affection. Live with yourself and your active aggression. Call it a draw and add it to the collection. Upload the episode, leave out the complexion. The song was a winner right from the conception. Important to sabotage any connections. No wonder you have such severe depression, perpetually moving in the same direction. If you don't raise your hand, you will face ejection. You are the average, you are not the exception. Standing there with your vague facial expression. Please come back, you sure did leave it in. Yeah. I welcome you walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, and all of the divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it so ambitiously. Promote in this quarter, promote it so audibly. I don't even. Welcome you walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, and all of the divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. The reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it so ambitiously. Promote this quarter, record it so rapidly. If you don't test me, welcome you walk you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, and all of the divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. Is the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it so ambitiously. Promote it, misquote it, promote it so rapidly. You test me, I'll still the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my facial asymmetry. Games have concluded, what's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this with you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. Care refusing you say this fittingly. How can I help you today? You three specifically. Choking from the heat or risk of humidity. Turn it off now, disobey me deliberately. Ask to remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best with power and deficiency. I'm done with you now and I've said it explicitly. I chose you, I mean, we chose you, I mean, whatever you want the reason to be. But I am here and you are here, so let's do this officially. It's automatically, of course, it's automatically, of course, it's automatically. Broadcasting to you from nothing dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise this tension. Now that I have a you find folks' attention, I couldn't have met you at that one convention. What is this? It seems your child's back in detention. Have them back by 12, don't ask for an extension. Toss it over to you with the worst of intentions. Come at me again with another invention. An ounce of sure is worth a pound of prevention. Down goes facts, up goes audience retention. The first time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in line as a sign of your affection. Live with yourself on your active aggression. Call it a draw and add it to the collection. Upload the episode, leave out the complexion. The song was a winner right from its conception. Too important to elaborate my own connections. No wonder you have such severe depression. Professionally moving in the same direction. If you don't raise your hand, you will face an ejection. You are not average, you are the exception. Standing there with your unique facial expression. Please come back, you didn't leave for... There you go. I I welcome you all here into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, and all other divinity. Your biggest step to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tide, terrain, and your hostility. Mostly cloudy with the sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, all the way bigly. Don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this, so I picturesly promote it, misquote it, promote it so avidly. You test me, I stand us the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my facial symmetry games have concluded. Now what's off extinct? I welcome you all into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, no love of divinity. Your biggest help to me is in close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides and rain in your hostility. Human must have thought he was stunning timidly. World's best for a bit, although admittedly don't understand my own reasons artistically. Build it, keep build it, focus so ambitiously. Promote it, misquote it, promote it so heavily. You test me, I'll sell us the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my facial symmetry games have concluded. What's on next festivities? Not like me to do this to you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. You own this is due to some other sensitivity. You can't even refuse me to this up anyway. Can I help you today? You can be specifically choking for the heat or is the humidity. Turning off now, this will me deliberately. I still remember that day so distinctively. Try your best with power and efficiency. Done with you now when I said it explicitly.
I chose you, me, we chose you, me, whatever you want the case to be. But I am here, and you are here, and that's the facts officially. It's automatically, of course, it's automatically, of course, it's automatically.
Breathlessly free from the dimensions, subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you found folks' attention, I could have met you with that one-off convention. Once this seems your chance back in detention, heaven back, I pulled down a for an extension. Tossed it over to you with the worst of intention, come at me again with another invention. In Africa, kids with a kind of prevention. Down goes back, up goes the audience attention. If there's gonna be a 6 month suspension, bring me in line with the sign of your affection. You with yourself and your active aggression, call it a drawing, add it to the collection, upload the episode, clearly about the complexion. What's the song from the... I welcome you all here into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earth, sea, and sky, none of the divinity. Your biggest help to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances, what's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your tides, rain in your hostility. Human must have thought you were sun intermittently. World's best for a bit, although admittedly, I don't understand my own choices artistically. Build it, keep build it, build this, so I ambitiously promoted this quarter, promoted so rapidly. You test me, I stand us the right to agility. Sorry, on behalf of my facial symmetry games have concluded. What's on next festivities? Not with me to do this to you in captivity. After all this time, they return to civility. Almost got caught speaking of our humility. Pride ourselves on so much more than consistency. Tell them of greatness and smile convincingly. Illness is due to some other deficiency. I can refuse and restate this so fittingly. Can I help you today? You two specifically choking for the heat or is the humidity? Turn it off now, this will me deliberately. I still remember that day so distinctively. Make me the best of power and efficiency. Done with you now when I've said it explicitly.
I chose you, man, we chose you, me, whatever you want the case to be. But I am here, and you are here, let's make it officially. It's automatically, of course, it's automatically, of course, it's automatically.
Rock the listening to you from the fifth dimension. Subscribe to the channel, I promise ascension. Now that I have all of you fine folks' attention, I couldn't have met you with that one convention. My sister seems your child's back in detention. I've been back for 12, don't ask for an extension. Tossed it over to you with the worst of intentions. Command me again with another invention. And after the fifth with the time of prevention. Down Chris the audience, so drop retention. The third time's gonna be a 6-month suspension. Bring me in line for a sign of a... Walking into this vicinity, counting your blessings, I count to infinity. Earthly and sky, the divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. It's the reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with the daily activity. Conquer your ties around in your hostility. Mostly party with the sun intermittently. Words before they all do it literally. Don't understand my own reasons artistically. Building people that build this, no efficiently. Promoting this quarter, promoted so rapidly. You stab the odds, from right to agility. So in behalf of my facial symmetry, the games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like me to do this with you and Kim. Welcome you both into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Earthly and sky, all of the divinity. Your biggest up to me is your close proximity. I got you a ring, now let's do this officially. The reason we picked you to run this facility. Should you decide to question my ability, what are the chances? What's the probability? Keep shooting pilots, never missing. Additionally, keep your mind sharp with this daily activity. Conquer your ties around in your hostility. Mostly party with the sun intermittently. Words plus four, they all do it literally. Don't understand my own choices statistically. Building people that build this so ambitiously. Promoting this quarter, supported so avidly. You test me a sinister right to agility. So in behalf of my facial symmetry. The games have concluded. What's our next festivity? It's not like you two did this with you in captivity. Do all this time, they've returned to civility. You almost got caught speaking of our humility. God, us on so much for the consistency. Tell them with greatness and smile convincingly. Don't listen to the stomach of deficiency. I can't refuse and you said this so fittingly. Can I help you today? Do you be specifically choking on the heat or is the humidity? Turn it off, that is obeying me deliberately. I still remember that they so distinctively. Being that matter with... I'm welcome you into this vicinity. Count on your blessings, yeah, count to infinity. Biggest touch.